Harvey's fake tail has shown up. This is the tail that we're going to put in Harvey, and we're pretty much just hoping that it matches. I'm gonna show you how to put in a fake tail. I'm just gonna put Harvey's tail into Ember. Ember is a ranch horse. She's really not going to use a fake tail unless she goes into a halter class. Her tail has sustained some damage, whether that's from Taz biting it off, I'm not sure, but that seems to be the breaking point right about there. It was braided, so we're thinking maybe with it being braided for so long and her whipping her tail, it got damaged. She also has very brittle hair, so it's very dry. We go through a lot of conditioner and it just doesn't seem to be doing much at the moment. Her tail is still breaking off. Her mane is almost non-existent. She doesn't have much of a mane thanks to that Appaloosa gene, but come on. Good girl. Come back for me. Good, babe. Right there. Nope. Nope. Whoa. Good girl. Good girl. So to put a tail in, you're gonna need some rubber bands. I just grabbed white. For her, you're gonna wanna use brown because she has brown hair, so you wanna hide the bands. A hair clip, and also a tail brush. And obviously your fake tail. Why do people use fake tails? Well, it's a way to level the playing field. Horses look more balanced when they have a full tail that goes to the floor. If they have a short, scraggly, or an uneven tail, it doesn't make them look as visually appealing. Is it a requirement? No, it's not a requirement in the classes. However, if you don't have one, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I'm not gonna go through her tail a whole lot because I don't wanna damage it any more than it already is. But you brush through the tail. We're just gonna let her hold that. For the tail, to put a tail in, you want it to hang right about here, okay? You would mark that spot, and I'm gonna put it up a little bit higher on her because I don't want you, when you put a fake tail in, you gotta put it on the bone. You can't like hang it down here off the bottom. So her tailbone ends right here. That's kind of about where I need to attach it. I'm gonna put it up here. It's not gonna be at the right height for her, but it's gonna work for this demonstration. So you grab the tail, chunk of the tail, you pull the hair up, and you're gonna take your clip, because if you're doing this by yourself, you don't have anyone to help you, you are going to clip the hair up and out of the way. Take some rubber bands, put them on your fingers so you have them. You can put them in your pocket too, it doesn't matter. You want to have a few. The tail that I bought for Harvey has loops on it, so there's loops that this hangs in. The whole point of putting a tail in is so that it looks like it's the horse's tail. For the most part at shows, we all know that there's a fake tail in. We're all very well aware of it. Nobody's fooling anyone, but you don't want it to stick out obvious and so it can be seen. That's why you pick all this up. So you're going to create 3 braids. Some people put their tails in differently. If you do, that's okay. I am not here to judge anybody for how they put their tails in. Look how long that hair is though. Like she has potential for such beautiful growth because it's so long from way up here. If you have a horse like Ember that has a weak tail, you could feed them a biotin supplement. A biotin supplement would encourage hair growth. And I don't have her currently on any, however, I think I need to. Putting in fake tails does damage their hair too. So you'll see a lot of like seasoned show horses that they don't have a very strong tail of their own anymore because of the amount of times they've had a fake tail in. So you just run a braid quick. It's so long it keeps braiding it under my hand. So I have to pull it out. She's such a good girl. She's standing so good for this. Okay. I think that's far enough. Whoa. Okay, so I'm going to put a band in right there. See how long that is? Like, she's got nice long growth. I don't want to damage any of that. Okay. We want to do one in the middle. When you're doing these braids, you want it to be a good chunk of hair. You don't want it to be a thin piece. You want it to be sturdy and solid, because if you do a thin braid, it's more likely to rip all of the hair out if something happens and it gets caught. I've seen horses back up and drop themselves, that they step on their fake tail and they rip it right out. So these braids that you're using to put the fake tail in are not sturdy enough or not solid enough. It'll rip all the hair out. I remember when I was learning how to do this, I was so scared I was going to screw it up. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what I was doing. But thankfully I had wonderful people in my life that gave me a lot of lessons and just let me figure it out. And they were there to answer questions for me. All right. And I got to do one more over here on this side. The types of classes that you would put a fake tail in for would be lunge line, trail or in-hand trail, halter class for sure, Western pleasure, any hunt seat classes. You would not use a fake tail in ranch classes. Ember is a ranch mare, so she would not use a fake tail in her ranch classes, because ranch classes, you want the horse to be like clean and tidy, so like trim up their extra hair like around their hooves and stuff and their scraggles, but you don't want to put a fake tail in. You want them to be natural. So in a ranch class, we do not band their mane. We don't put a fake tail in. We don't like trim the whiskers around their nose and their eyes. In classes like halter, they do get trimmed up heavily. They get the longer hairs in their ears trimmed back. They get the longer hair around their hooves trimmed back. But, whoa, good girl, good girl, good. She's being so good. She's such a good girl. Okay. Now for this tail. When you are getting a fake tail for your horse, you want to make sure the color matches. Okay, like you don't want to, like I would never put a black tail in her because it's not going to match. She's a sorrel horse, so we want to make sure that we use a sorrel tail. Now I can tell you right off the bat, this is not the same color sorrel. Ember has a very purple hue or purple tint when it comes to her hair. So this is not the correct color sorrel. I'm hoping it matches Harvey. We'll see. Okay, so the way I'm going to put this in, I have 2 loops. Okay, there's 2 loops on this tail. Whoa, woman, good girl. So we are going to put that center one. That center one's gonna go right down the middle. The outside one is gonna come through the loop to the inside. This outside one is gonna come through the loop into the inside. So we have one right down the center. The other 2 are looped in from the outside. We are going to braid those 3 together. So we just run a braid. And again, I have white bands. You would use the same color band as your horse. The whole point is to hide it and make it look like it's part of the horse's tail. All right. Take another band off your hand. And you band it all together. Once I do this part, I will go in and I will take out the bands for the individual braids. You pretty much just, that's just gonna lay like that. You take this down, And again, see how you can see them because they're white? So if I had sorrel, you wouldn't really see them. This tail also isn't hung in the exact right spot for her, but it's, like I said, this is a yearling tail, so it's not right for her, but it does work. And you can see how it doesn't blend. You see how it sticks out like a sore thumb? She needs like a really, really dark tail. Not a black one. I wouldn't put a black one in her tail, but she does need a really, really dark one. So all you do is you bring all these out to the front and around, and you just feather them all in, and then I would go through with a brush and brush them all together so they all go in together and blend. Put away my extra bands. She's such a good girl being a table, holding all my stuff. Good girl. She's such a good girl. So that is how you put in a fake tail. That's what it looks like. Once you get the fake tail in, as long as it's at the length that you want it, see how her own tail is a little bit longer. So you would, if it was where I wanted it, you would run this all down, comb it out, straighten it out, and then go in and snip it. So that way the real tail is the same length as the fake tail. When they go into the class, into the show pen, they just look neat and crisp, like clean cut. That's what you want. All these beautiful long hairs up here. She would have a lovely tail if I could get that to all just grow out. We're getting there. The other thing you can do is take like a vet wrap around the top of the tail, especially in a halter class. You want their tail tucked a little bit, so it really shows off their, I mean, she's got the cheeks, but you really want this tail tucked so it shows off their hip. Look at that jiggle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. That is how she would look with a full tail. Again, not her tail, that's Harvey's tail, but I wanted to show you just for measure how to put it in and what it would look like. I hope you found this video educational and helpful, and maybe you learned a thing or two. If there's something that you could teach me on how to do this better, or maybe you put the tail in a different way, please comment below. I would love to hear it, and I'm more than happy to accept constructive criticism and advice. I'm still learning as I go too, guys. I'm still a newbie. Also, if you're not subscribing yet, please click subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything here on YouTube. It is free to subscribe, and then you'll get notifications about when I post a video. Thank you for your service, ma'am. Your patience is appreciated. Want some more? Good girl.